James, and I'm an artist and designer. I've been doing 3D as well as traditional artwork for ages. So I graduated in 1999 from Edinburgh College of Art, and basically after that I started doing stuff with 3D visualization, you know, quite a lot of stuff for offshore energy companies, you know, like underwater wave machines, and I was using 3ds Max, right? So various things like that, and I got into some, I always liked animation and movies, so I got into some short films, some Channel 4 film festivals and stuff like that. And basically I've done stuff like that. So you can see my website, jamesabelart.com. What have I done there? Oh, it's annoying. Yeah. And so then like I've always, but as well as that, that I always like making things in the real world. And also about 10 years ago, I started getting into tuition, and I got into Blender because obviously you don't need a license for it. Then it went from there. So I actually, right from that, I realized Blender was good. And then obviously Blender's been getting better and better. So I still, because I tutor, say, 3ds Max and Blender as well, and Substance, but you know, Blender is, I use Blender mostly for my my work. So this is when I started doing Blender for real life works. I did a sort of stint at Fab Lab London. I don't know if any of you know that, but it used to be a fabrication lab in London, and I did a Dymaxion Atlas. The reason for that, because I'd just been in Montreal, and I actually did a sort of few-week kind of art residency in a fab lab there. I'm just going to ask them to do it, basically, and sometimes you can do that rather than doing it through advertised stuff, because there wasn't anything there. There wasn't an art residency there, but I just said, and they said, hey, come do an art residency. So that kind of thing. So anyway, I came back and I did this Dymaxion Atlas at in Fab Lab London. Then I went to Iceland actually and did Fab Lab ISA, which is in the northwest, really cool Fab Lab as well. That's going strong still. And I made this kind of 3D print. It's like a floating kind of spaceshipy science fiction idea story thing I did. And then so coming on to what I do with Blender now, as well as 3D and tutoring people, Blender and drawing and Substance, etc. Then I made a sculpture. So this time last year, it was kind of getting to spring, and I made the sculpture. And this is kite rods, and I needed to connect the kite rods. So I've got a cheap 3D printer here. So rather than tying them or something messy, I made an actual components, and you can see in Blender, like these ones here. And I just kind of eyeballed it, really. I mean, it saved me having to get into, you know, a CAD program, because obviously I know Blender, so I was just like messing around with it and just putting things together. I think that's quite messy. I think I just fused that together, but I wouldn't have done that. Yeah, that's not good. But yeah, but anyway, so I just did that and then printed that out as and when. And luckily, the circumference of the size I printed out in Cura, then that was actually fitted the kite rod straight away. Sometimes these things happen, you know, like it's a jinx, really. Not a jinx, you know, a lucky coincidence. That's what it is. And I always draw, and I like to make clay work. So coming on to the next thing is that these clay sculptures, and I'll just show you what I did with the in Blender just quickly. It's only meant to be 5 minutes, this presentation or something. So these are faces. So the faces originally from Make Human. I imported the Make Human mesh, deleted everything else except for what I want. It's got a, you know, solidify on it, and the faces weren't quite right. So basically what I did is I went to sculpt mode, and then I used what I call the beanie, which is, the official name is obviously Elastic Deform, but obviously because I've got the beanie. So, and you know, I find that a really good tool, especially if I'm doing kind of things like faces, is to pull it around to get it exactly right, like that. And then as you can see, you know, working in clay work, I love doing that. And then you can add elements like 3D elements. And I've put stars and kind of symbols. These are kind of like characters looking into sort of the skies, watching the skies, like kind of like strange kind of, not leprechauns because I'm in Scotland, but kind of, they're called Sith actually, I think. Or is that the Irish one? But you know, they're like little people, but it's all to do with like legends and things. And I'm going to put silicon over these and cast them into cement. So very quickly, the next thing that I'm doing is, let's save that, is designed a chessboard, going to sell it. And again, just eyeballing in Blender. And sorry, I should have had the photograph of this, but I forgot to include it. But you can check it out on my Instagram. It's, I'm on James Abell Art, Abell Art. Yeah, and that's on my Twitter as well. But you can check out my progress on that. So I've actually, I'm casting these in polyurethane, but I'm trying to make them environmentally friendly. So I'm actually using fillers and putting different fillers in to see if that will fill it and use less resins. So that's what I love about, Blender, sort of eyeballing things for the real world and then printing that in 3D as well. I still do like to do some sort of stuff sometimes for clients and stuff, but mainly what I do is I'm doing quite a lot of tuition work, like with things like Blender and Substance and also creative stuff as well. And I'm getting all the stuff I'm doing is for an exhibition, solo show in Glasgow. So if you want to go along to that, or follow me at James Abell Art on Twitter and Instagram. And that's about it, really. So that's what I do. So yeah, I find Blender a really good tool for not only helping people and myself if I want to make digital things or use the grease pencil for that matter. Really good to combine to get you, because you can convert your drawings now to grease pencil. You bring them in, which is an amazing tool. Not only that, but also expanding, using Blender to get things into the real world, like 3D prints, laser cuts and stuff like that. So thanks very much. And if you want to ask me any questions about the processes and stuff that I use, I'm glad to help you. So I'm James Abell Art. At James Abell Art on Twitter and Instagram. And then my website is jamesabellart.com. So it's ABELL. So thanks very much. And I look forward to watching this Blender conference all day.